Welcome back to the Green Ninja channel. This is the Wake and Blake series where I, the Blake, talk about things that I find to be interesting or funny or, wow, that was a weird breath. To talk about news and upcoming things in regards to the channel that don't necessarily need both of us. So I'm going to jump right into this. I know that people are very curious as to why we left and they're worried about us, and I can officially say that you have no reason to worry about us in any of the very obvious ways. We didn't like get arrested or go to the hospital. Like, we didn't start hating each other. There's the personal and professional life reasons for why we stopped are so boring that I'm not even going to bother with explaining those things. And we're very private people to begin with, so even if they were interesting, we still wouldn't tell you because that's just kind of who we are, and we really only share the things that we feel comfortable with sharing. So unfortunately, we're not going to dive into the personal life side of why we stopped doing this, but I definitely can talk about the YouTube and Washington state law side of why we stopped doing things. And the YouTube policy changes were an interesting thing that we were battling. We noticed that on a lot of cannabis videos that they were being demonetized, videos were being removed, and specifically with the way that we format our videos with the Grow Room season and the Wake and Blakes and whatever, it's less weird if a Wake and Blake is taken down. Like, you don't need to watch those in a row. You can kind of pick and choose which ones you find interesting, and that's great for that series. But with the Grow Room videos, if 2 or 3 videos from that season in random parts of the season are taken out, then that's kind of a big deal, right? You know, if a big update is suddenly missing, or a very important tutorial we do in a season is taken down, it's like, holy crap, that really sucks. So that's really on the YouTube side of things why we chose to just stop making videos. We weren't sure if some or all of our videos would be taken down and should we continue. Washington state policy changed in regards to Initiative 502 and in regards to their medical patients. And this happened, God, like within such a short amount of time after the YouTube policy changes that it was basically the straw that broke the camel's back, and we were just like, screw it, shut it down until we can wrap our heads around this and get everything in order we need to get in order. So when we do start making videos again and we do start interacting with our community, if they're still around, which we see that you are, thank you, that we can be the people that they started watching for in the first place, which was very important to us. So that's really a breakdown of the explanation as to why we stopped making videos, and a minor explanation as to why we started making videos again. All right, and that leads me to what changes are going to be made to the channel. Biggest thing that you're going to notice in regards to our videos and how we put them out is going to be that there's going to be a lot more editing involved. We're not going to over edit our videos. I know I definitely don't enjoy it when every 5 words or something are cut out. So we're going to try and keep this as raw as we can, but we're also going to edit to make sure that things are concise and on topic. And that will be the biggest change I think that people will recognize towards the Grow Room updates, is that they're going to be a lot more on topic. And we're going to try and keep the Grow Room updates, content videos, really focused in on what's happening in the Grow Room, which I think will be a welcome surprise for some people. I know that there are certainly a chunk of people out there who like the extra kind of digression and side conversations that we have, and we have plenty of content that's going to be coming out that will be aimed more towards who we are, but we want to try and keep those things separated for at least enough to make the Grow Room updates informative and helpful, while also translating who we are so we don't suck the life completely out of those videos. We're definitely going to be doing the Wake and Blake series, as you can tell, for a number of reasons. And we're working on ways to bring in new content for the longtime subscribers who like the Grow Room updates and the following that I have for the Wake and Blake videos. We want to try and interact more with the Initiative 502 farms. We want to try and interact more with the storefronts. We want to try and interact more with the processors. An ultimate goal of ours, and I think a really important thing we want to try and do, is we want to release content that is not just about the gardening side of things. And if we're going to approach some of these topics, then I think not only should we be taking those topics very seriously, but we also need to be taking our other content just as seriously. So, and that is more of a statement going forward from us that we're going to be a lot more responsible with the content that we put out, a lot more thoughtful with the content that we put out, and a lot more direct with what we are hoping to accomplish with the content that we put out, which I think is going to be a very welcome change on the logistics side of how we make our videos. So what kinds of new content's coming out and what things are there to look forward to from the Green Ninja Organics camp? Biggest thing I think for us is that we're going to be doing all the stuff we used to do and then some. We're going to be throwing out a Patreon page, which will include Patreon exclusive content. We're not going to be hiding the bread and butter of our content behind Patreon. We are simply going to be adding in extra things for Patreon that if people want to subscribe to Patreon for the extra content, that we at least present the option for them to do so. We have a lot of things that we want to do for Patreon, and the more Patreon support that we have, the cooler stuff we can do with it, and also the more cool stuff we can do for the main channel. We're not going to be hiding the brunt of the new content behind that paywall. Patreon is going to be extras for people as they do exist on other channels. And we're going to be working very hard to make sure that the balance between what's on the main channel and what's on Patreon is fair. Patreon is coming. And one of the biggest series announcements that I can make for Patreon is that we're going to be trying a new tutorial series that we're going to be doing for Patreon specifically as our biggest Patreon content exclusive this time around going. We do have tutorial videos that we made for another season, and with all of the improvements that we've been able to make to our knowledge base, we're going to be releasing some very serious, some very well edited, and hopefully some very educational videos on what we believe needs a tutorial on skills and knowledge that we believe everyone should have in regards to cultivating their cannabis. And not only just cannabis, but we plan on doing tutorial videos that are garden related that aren't necessarily specifically aimed at cannabis. As I like to say, cannabis entered the gardening industry, not the other way around. So that's really, I think, it in terms of why we came back, why we left, and we talked about the changes that are going to be made to the channel. We talked about what's new in the channel, and we have so much exciting content for you guys. We are so excited to announce it. We just have to wait until the time is right, so we don't give ourselves any sort of false deadline, and that way we can make the videos that we want to make the best we can make them, so everyone can have fun with this, including us. So thanks you guys for all the support and for sticking around for as long as you have and waited as patiently without explanation. I know that you guys don't owe us anything. You know, you could have certainly have turned your back and decided that we weren't worth waiting around for. but you didn't. And for those of you that stuck around and believed in us and believed that we would come back, we definitely appreciate you. And I'm going to go ahead and close this with something I haven't said in a very long time, and that is stay orangey, always flush responsibly. We love you, and we will see you in a future video.